Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Ollie Davis in holiday in Greece on a Greek island called Santorini where it's too hot outside. So I'm inside watching this beautiful Korean channel which usually has soap operas on. I've been watching a lot of Korean soap operas, but now it's got this. It's some form of game show and I can't understand or figure out the format. A lot of text keeps flashing on the screen, a lot of subtitles, a lot of weird graphics. But yeah, it's good holiday. So subscribe to WrestleTalk, and I'll be back in a bit. I'll be back in a couple of days on Wednesday. Love you, bye.
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thank you for being an awesome pledge hammer on Patreon, Astounding Abdullah Alenzi. It's the first Raw under Heyman's control. Bray Wyatt re-debuts. We've got #1 contenders for the Universal and Raw Women's Championships, and has a huge WWE star asked for some time off. Click the timestamps in the video description below to be taken to any of those stories right now. I am Chopper Pete Quinnell, still filling in for Ollie. Don't worry, he's back from holiday soon. Have yourself a super click party by pressing the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell icons to enable notifications, and leave us a comment answering the question of the day, which today is, who would you have made the #1 contender against Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship? And make sure to press the eye above my head to let me know what you thought of the show, where you can choose from Rawsome, Core, Average, Poor, and Rawful. This is the July 15th, 2019 episode of Monday Night Raw. The show kicked off with new Universal Champion Brock Lesnar and his advocate Paul Heyman cutting a promo, where Paul announced that since he's the guy in charge now, I thought there were no authority figures, he's going to make a 10-man battle royal for the main event, with the winner facing Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. Those 10 men were Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Big E, Cesaro, Braun Strowman, Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, and Roman Reigns. There's a lot of matches I want to see in there. The first match of the night was a 6-man tag 2 out of 3 falls match with Ricochet teaming with the Usos to take on the Revival and Robert Roode. Time for a mustache break. Wait, he's got a full beard now. There's no more mustache break. The first fall came immediately with super kicks, a code breaker now named the Recoil, and a standing shooting star press, with the second fall coming from a flapjack. Is that right? A flapjack? Was this supposed to be a shadow machine and Wilder just didn't get the memo? Ricochet hit a 630 on Roode for the third fall, which brought out the club. Everyone got into a big schmoz, with the club standing tall over Ricochet. The Viking Raiders squashed some local talent before we got a backstage promo with Drew McIntyre, who's not with Shane? Could it be? This mystical timeline? Is it possible to have a show without Shane McMahon? The promised times are upon us. There is a God. Anyway, Drew goes into the locker room and confronts Cedric Alexander about his hoodwink that didn't work, that Drew actually won the match, remember? Which was followed by a match between the two, which Alexander actually won via roll-up in 3 minutes. Next, we got one of my favorite rivalries in NXT history, Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. Can't wait for this one, and Joe wins via roll-up in a minute. Finn then immediately beats up Joe afterwards and stands tall and starts celebrating. You lost, Finn! You lost your championship and then you lost your comeback match on Raw. Is this a new thing in WWE to celebrate when you lose? It started with Cedric and now Finn's doing it, but then all was saved. Finn's music slowly faded out like the power had been cut. The lights cut out and suddenly in the darkness was a re-debuting Bray Wyatt in the Fiend mask, looking absolutely terrifying. He hits a Sister Abigail on Finn and it cuts to black again with Bray's laugh leading us into an ad break. He looked incredible. This was done to perfection, and let's never talk about that Bray versus Finn feud that happened before. Could the Fiend be about to beat the Demon at SummerSlam? We had Zack Ryder in the ring next, where he was going to face Mike Kanellis, but Maria tells Mike she's gonna fight in his place, which she can't do obviously because she's pregnant. Mike then says, "Don't worry, I've got this, and immediately loses to Ryder. Maria then says that her unborn child had more of a chance of winning that match than Mike did. I really hate this story. The club were back again, this time in a 6-man tag match against the Lucha House Party. LHP got in a lot more offense than you would expect, but the club stood tall after Styles tapped out Kalisto with a brutal-looking calf crusher. Rollins cut an impassioned backstage promo saying that he'll fight anyone to get back to the Universal Championship. Next, we had a women's fatal 4-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender to Becky Lynch's Raw Women's Championship, with the man watching at ringside. The 4 competitors were Natalya, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, and Naomi, and considering the amount of quick matches so far tonight, no doubt this one will also be a quick one. What's that? 25 minutes? Jesus! Carmella was eliminated pretty early by, you guessed it, a roll-up from Alexa Bliss. Bliss had a good role in this match, being the heel on the outside that capitalized where she could. I wish I could tell you more things that happened in this match, but it just seemed to drag on for far too long. Naomi was eventually eliminated by Natalya with another roll-up, and then Nikki Cross got on the microphone to tell the crowd to cheer for Alexa and begins chanting her name. I guess she's just trying to use her bardic inspiration. That's a Dungeons and Dragons joke for you right there. It doesn't work though, as Natalya taps out Bliss after taking out Cross on the outside. Lynch and Natalya cut a promo together after the match, which had some decent fire, albeit with some very strange lines thrown in, and it should be at least a mildly interesting match given that SummerSlam is in Toronto. I'd be a hypocrite to say this was bad, given that we have a new challenger for Becky and it's not Lacey Evans, but I'm not very excited for a Natalya title match. Miz comes out for Miz TV with Dolph Ziggler next. Ugh. And Ziggler questions when Miz just became a company yes man, just like his wife. So Miz snaps and beats up Ziggler. I really don't want to see another Ziggler-Miz feud in 2019. Please. Drake Maverick attempted to consummate his marriage next, where Truth had earlier tried to find him in his hotel. They get room service, and of course, Truth is on the room service trolley, and the room service attendant is a referee. Truth eventually pins Maverick and runs off with the championship. This fell a little bit flat. What didn't fall flat was Corey's joke straight after that segment, when he says he would have utilized the small package, which absolutely broke Renee and Cole next to them. Wahey! Penis jokes, am I right, lads? Finally was the main event Battle Royal. Here we go. Cesaro was eliminated first. Yeah, that's fine. Still plenty of other people I want to see face Lesnar. Oh, look, Bobby Lashley's gone too. Okay, cool, no worries. Big E's gone. Oof. It's getting a bit thin in that match now. Sami Zayn's gone. Oof, that's unfortunate. Rey Mysterio? Oh, man, that would have been nice. Oh, well, Reigns and Strowman get eliminated. That means, wait, no, there's still Orton. That could be fun. And look, here he comes after being hidden on the outside. And Rollins wins anyway. All right. Cool. Rollins cuts a promo after the match saying that SummerSlam will be just like WrestleMania when he wins back the Universal Championship. I know a lot of people will hate on this decision, but honestly, I don't mind it that much, as long as Rollins wins. He wasn't handed a rematch, he had to work for it. And after he wins it back, then we can start doing some great feuds with him and not just Baron Corbin. This was a decent episode of Raw. Some talent got on the show who aren't normally featured, which is great and a complaint we've had for a long time. The promo work I think improved pretty much across the board. Bray Wyatt re-debuted and they seem to be pushing Cedric Alexander somewhat. However, the women's match dragged on for far too long and I'm not very excited by Natalya versus Lynch. The Balor-Joe match was severely disappointing, and Rollins absolutely has to beat Lesnar at SummerSlam, otherwise the entire story will be ruined and worthless. But there was no Shane McMahon! Not 1 second of him. For that, this show gets bumped up to an average. And now over to Luke with the news.
Great review, Pete. I look forward to reviewing Raw with you in full on the Wait, what's going on? What's happening? Why are the lights gone out? What's going on? Oh, it's Steve from Going in Raw.
Hey, friendo.
What a moment.
Oh my God.
What are you doing here?
Just came by to do the Raw review with you.
Oh, cool. Well, maybe you should check that out later on today.
Yeah.
Oh, but if you could just go and stand over there. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've got to do the news, man. Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
okay.
But anyway, good to see you. Despite being advertised for the overly wordy, cross-branded All-Star Top 10 Battle Royal, Daniel Bryan was pulled from the match and replaced with Sami Zayn. While no official reason has been given for this change, Figure 4 Online are reporting that WWE decided to go in a different direction with Bryan, which will certainly raise some eyebrows for an announced segment on tonight's SmackDown. Not only will Shane McMahon be holding a town hall meeting, but WWE are promoting that Bryan will make a career-altering announcement on SmackDown Live stemming from his tag team loss at Extreme Rules. Also announced for tonight's SmackDown is a women's tag team championship match between the Kabuki Warriors and Iconics, and Ember Moon tagging with a mystery partner to take on Fire and Desire. And hopefully they'll get a better reaction than the Fatal 4-Way on Raw did to crown a new #1 contender to Becky Lynch, which was won by Natalya. The match was not received well by the fans in Long Island, with chants of boring and this is awful, as well as chants for Sasha Banks and John Cena, and booing that the match wouldn't end. Two of the wrestlers in that match have since responded to the negative reaction, with Naomi simply posting a woozy face emoji, and Alexa Bliss taking a more direct route, tweeting out "just disrespectful." Someone who might get a better reaction, however, is Luke Harper. The former Wyatt family member and Bludgeon brother hasn't properly been on WWE TV since around this time last year, going out with an injury shortly after SummerSlam. He was part of the World Collide tournament on the WWE Network and had a brief appearance in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania, but he announced via Twitter that he was unhappy with his creative direction and had asked for his release from WWE. It was then reported that not only had the request been turned down, he was also getting his contract artificially extended due to being out with an injury last year to prevent him from going to competition like All Elite Wrestling. It was expected that we wouldn't see Harper on WWE TV moving forward, as Vince McMahon reportedly isn't a fan. But PW Insider are reporting that he's back on the road with WWE this week. Whether that means Harper will be back on TV for SmackDown tonight, or it's just house shows, remains to be seen. Harper's former leader Bray Wyatt made his return to TV last night, attacking Finn Balor after his loss to Samoa Joe to seemingly set up a feud. I'm getting horrible Sister Abigail flashbacks. However, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, it likely won't be a long-lasting feud, as the former Intercontinental Champion might not be around after SummerSlam. According to Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, Balor has requested 2 months off from WWE following their next pay-per-view. Satin notes that he hasn't been told an exact reason why Balor wants time off, but says one source told him it was so Balor could recharge.
Remember to check out me and Luke reviewing this week's Raw on the Wrestle Ramble by clicking the video on the screen right now. And subscribe to Screen Stalker, or I'll be playing some games with them on Friday's episode. I've been Steve. That was wrestling.